This morning I've been playing around with the buoyancy component, and that is part of the water system. So make sure that you've got water turned on as a plug-in. You may have to restart. I then have come in to the water content, which is part of the engine content. So you need to make sure you have your show engine content ticked. And then in blueprints, what comes as standard is the BP buoyancy example, and then I've copied that a couple of times and then brought in my own static meshes. Now, some of the tutorials I've seen online then try and add some of the pontoons, and pontoons are part of the buoyancy component. Let me just open up here. So when we look at buoyancy, you'll see that here under buoyancy data you have pontoons, and you can add as many of those as you like. Now you'll see what I've done is I've assigned them to sockets. Now the reason I've done that is in some of the tutorials I've seen, people are trying to find the location of where they want to place the pontoon here and adding dummy components, and it just seems like a bit of a sort of unnecessary step when you can just double click on the static mesh and come into the static mesh editor and then just add your sockets there. I've just named them S1, 2, 3, 4, and then made sure that my buoyancy component refers to those sockets. So there we are, that's what it's centering on at the moment. This is now being overwritten, I believe. This supersedes that. Now, one of the other things that I've seen on a few comments on tutorials as well is that my static mesh is just dropping to the floor. So the one thing you obviously, not so obviously, the one thing you do need to make sure is that your static mesh does have some collision applied to it. So let me come back here. So if I just turn on, so I've just created one of the automated collisions just using one of these, very simple, because I didn't need to have exact collision on the boat. But when I then come out of that and press play, you can see my pawn is also one of my BP buoyancy actors, and I've added a camera in there to give me this slightly sort of nauseous floating camera view. So the camera rig is actually part of a buoyancy actor. I'll show you that quickly, and it just kind of gives me that effect that I wanted. But I've made that a pawn so that it is possessed by player 0. So here I've still got the buoyancy component. The static mesh I've just hidden, but I've used that to parent a cine camera to, and then I've just changed the parent. When you come up here and go reparent blueprint, so now it's a pawn rather than an actor, which is what the other one is, I believe, parent actor. Anyway, just thought I'd share that. Many thanks. So I hope that video is of use. If so, please do like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive any updates. And thank you for your support.